Welcome once again to Octane Mobile Gaming. Today we look at possible deck combination. I'm going to jump straight in and we're going to start with my main event deck. So the deck that I'm using is a combination of the current deck and a past event deck, which is really good. So let's take a look at the past event deck first. This one, Protectors of Prosperity, is a really good card that you can add to your deck to get not a massive boost but a really decent boost. What this card does, it increases Earthslayer attack by 200% for 2 turns. It also creates 5 Earth Power Gem 6s. When ambushing, it increases Earthslayer attack by 2000% instead. So this one is a really good card, really powerful, produces a bit of power gem, and it gives you a massive bang for your buck. So you get 2000% attack increase, not damage increase, attack increase. And this is only when you're ambushing. Ambushing works on your first activation of your battle skill. After that, you have to die to reset ambush before you can get that 2000%. However, you will get the 200% each time you activate your battle skill. So that is a decent card you can add to deck if you've got it. If you haven't got the ultimate form but you've got the ultra rare, the ultra rare is really good to use as well. So this one will increase Earthslayer attack by 200% for 2 turns. When ambushing, increases Earthslayer attack by 2000% instead. This one doesn't create any power gems with its battle skill, but its battle skill is really decent. It does give you a massive boost on the first activation. On all preceding activation, on all activation after the first activation, you will only get 200%, so bear that in mind. Ambushing will only reset if you die and revive. This card, however, hasn't got the revive on it. The revive is only on the ultimate form and the master collection card. So this one is really good as well. Now I'm running the master collection card, the shiny master collection card. I'm running the ultra rare, and I'm running the ultimate form for the current deck, and that one is my main combination. It works really well and it's really decent. Now the next one up is this one. This one uses Making You, and this one will only give you 30% attack increase, which is not as big as the 2000%. I think is much better. However, this one can increase the intensity, increase the attack boost by 3% for every 10 intensity. So every 10 immortal killer intensity, you will increase that attack boost that you get from the battle skill of Making You by 3%. So it does increase over time, and there is no limit to the amount of increase that you can get from this card. So this one, if it's going to be a very long fight, would be your best option. However, it's really slow and it won't give you that massive bang on your first activation of your deck. So that one, I would say, if you haven't got anything else, it's something you could add to your deck. Third deck I've got for you today is this one using the Jailers. Now I'm only running the Jailers. I'm not running Defiant Druid, because what I have added to the deck is this card. And the reason why I've added this card to the deck, it's to upgrade 6 power gems to 1 level higher, and it creates 4 Earth Power Gem freeze. So that's the main reason why I'm running this one on this particular combination. Now this combination will, let me swap this card out and get this one in. So this combination will be a non-event combination. So this one will not use any card from the current deck. So this one will be a deck that if you haven't got the gems, or you weren't lucky enough with the gems that you've got to get something from the current deck, this is something that you could use. Vernon Druid is an immortal killer ultimate form that will give you the killer skill. It will give you a nuke damage, so you might be careful not to activate its battle skill. If you're going for, say, you want to steal somebody else's MVP, you might not want to activate this battle skill because it will end your turn. However, if you manage to get to the second turn, it will give you 6 Earth Power Gem freeze if you've got 1 Earth Power Gem on the board. Doesn't matter what level, as long as you got Earth Power Gem on the board, it will give you 6 Power Gems. 6 Power Gem freeze. I think it's a nice card. It's not brilliant, but it's quite nice. The nuke damage is not brilliant, but however, the nuke damage on this particular card is really, really good. Hard Won Gorillas is a card that I've talked about many times in the past. I won't go over its battle skill again. This one is Flourishing Fairies. Flourishing Fairies will upgrade 6 Power Gem to 1 level higher, and it will create 4 Earth Power Gem freeze. Then it will increase Arcane Killer's attack by for 1 turn by 30% per gem skill triggered this turn. So every skill that produces Power Gem that is activated on the turn that this battle skill is activated, it will give you a 30% attack increase. And that's only for Arcane Killer anyway. The passive, at the start of each turn, it will create 1 Earth Power Gem 1. It will create 1 Earth Power Gem. It doesn't say the level, it just says just create 1 Earth Power Gem. The battle skill creates Earth Power Gem freeze. So I think this one create Earth Power Gem freeze with its passive, and this will increase by 1 for by 1 extra Power Gem for every 100 Arcane Killer intensity. Whenever a hero, whenever a Power Gem skill is triggered, it will also heal you for 200% of hero recovery. So this one is the ultra rare from this deck, Flourishing Fairies deck, and this, as I said, is a non-event card. The Jailers need no introduction. It's the card that's gonna give us the attack increase. So increase Arcane Killer's attack based on skills that delays the boss. So this one is not too bad. This one is does really decent damage as well. However, I was running the current ultimate form, but we're gonna try out with Vernon Druid. And if you've haven't got Vernon Druid, but you've got a older or the oldest of all the Earth Immortal killer cards, Earth Immortal Slayer killer cards, which is, let's see, let's go for Earth Immortal, Immortal Killer, okay, which is this one. Blossoming Alliance. Blossoming Alliance will give you the killer skill as well. However, you will have to wait on Overgrowth, which is a status, to basically be active for you to create Earth Power Gem 4s, and that's 4 Earth Power Gem 4s you will create. Not gonna go too much into that card. We'll try it out as well and see how that one gets on. Now this one personally for me, I don't really like this combination, simply because you do get a boost from the passive of Perceptive Guru, but it's a fire commander card first to begin with, so it's not gonna give you any damage whatsoever. The second thing is you have to wait to be hit, so that basically takes your deck up to 3 turns. So personally for me, it's not something that I would use. It's something that I'm just showing you that you could use. Well, I'll showcase it as well to show you that it's not brilliant. It's slow basically, and the damage output is not going to be very brilliant. So it's not something that I would recommend. This one as well is something that personally, if you lock the boss, you can use High Performance Unit Area alongside your current deck, or you could use Perceptive Guru just to get an extra boost to your attack. But if you're going up against somebody else's boss and you intend to steal the VIP or even do 20% damage or 50% damage, I wouldn't recommend High Performance Unit Area or Perceptive Guru, because you'll probably only get, say, a tag so you won't get much. You'll just get the minimum amount of trophies from the bosses, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend those two if it's not if it's not your boss and it's not locked. So we're gonna go straight in. We're gonna look at each one of these combination in action. First and foremost, we're gonna start with my main deck, which is this one. I'm gonna go in with 3 keys. The bosses are not really high, but we can basically measure or gauge the damage output of the deck. So you just activate from right to left, because that's how I play. And we're gonna look with 3 keys what's the damage like on this particular combination, and as you can see, the damage is pretty decent, 158 trillion for the current ultimate form. So let's look at total damage done. So total damage done was over 530 trillion, and that's using 3 keys. So you can see that this deck, this combo is absolutely magnificent, really powerful. Let's look at this one using Making You. It's not going to be as powerful because we've only got a 30% attack increase coming from Making You, so I am not holding my breath thinking this one is going to do as much damage as the previous deck. Alright, so let's see the damage output on this one, and the damage output is pretty low, 12 trillion for the current ultimate form. So that is over 100 trillion per card less than the previous one. So 45 trillion damage comparing to over 500 trillion damage on the previous deck. So unless you haven't got anything else that you could use, that's something that you could consider. Let's go and see. You know what, let's try and steal the MVP for this one. The boss is defeated. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, it's really a shame. So this is mine. It's not a really big boss. So we're going to go straight in, and this is using the jailers. The jailers will give me a bigger bang for my buck. However, it's focusing mostly on arcane killer cards. This one is, so we're gonna activate everything. Not gonna activate the nuke damage. So don't activate the nuke damage. Swap the gems. The gem production. You get a lot less high valued power gems. So 7.5 trillion for. So that's 14 trillion damage. So that's a bit disappointing. That's quite disappointing, really. Let's try that one again. This time what we're going to do, instead of using this one, I'm going to swap that one out, and I'm going to replace it with Defiant Duet and see if the deck will do a bit better when it comes to damage output. So let's see if we can increase the damage output. But the damage output is pretty low, simply because I'm not creating a lot of high valued power gems. And there we go. Let's see. So the power gems that I'm creating, they're not really high valued power gems, so it's a bit better. We've got 21 trillion coming from hard-won gorillas, and let's take a look at, so a bit better, 35 trillion, so that's much better. But if we should swap out Vernon Druid, because Vernon Druid takes away from the actual damage output of the deck, simply because Vernon Druid doesn't create any power gems. If there are at least 2 power gems, it doesn't create any power gems with its battle skill, so that takes away from the total damage output of the deck. But if we add the current ultimate form to the deck, then the deck becomes something totally different, because now what we've got a 30% increase to the total attack of each one of the Slayer cards, plus we've got 8 power gem 6s coming from its battle skill as well. So there we go. So you can see that the power gems on the board, we've got higher level power gems on the board. So let's take a look at the total damage for Hard One Gorilla, which is 62 trillion, which is far better than what we were doing before. So we've got 101 trillion for that combination, which is not as powerful as the first combo, but if you haven't got anything else, you could consider using, say, that combination. So let's take a look at this combo. Now this combo, we need something with a bit more HP, and we're not gonna be able to steal anybody's MVP, so we're not gonna even bother. This deck is not able to steal MVP. You haven't got a chance to steal anybody MVP with this combination. So all you're gonna do with this particular one is just match the gems. That's turn 1. That's turn 2. And you have to wait on turn 3 to be hit to get that boost to your attack from Perceptive Guru. And then you're gonna swap power gems. So it takes 3 turns. So the damage output is quite decent on that one. It's far better than its than previous one that I showcase. So let's take a look at the total damage done. So the total damage done was over 243 trillion. So that was far better than most of the combos that we've seen since we saw the main event deck in action. So this would be the second most powerful of all the decks. The first one would be the main deck. So last but not least, let's take a look at this one. So this one is using High Performance Unit Area. Now it's gonna be just like Perceptive Guru, apart from the fact that you actually have to power up and activate High Performance Unit Area's battle skill. So here we go. So the battle skill is not powered up. It's not powered up, and we need to activate it now. So there you have a problem. So we've gone from a 3-turn deck to actually a 4-turn deck. Plus it's creating power gems passively, which is not too bad, because as you can see, they're being overwritten by the passive of the cards on the deck, because we're actually starting each turn with less than. So let's see that in action again, because there is actually a benefit. There's actually benefit from, let's swap this out and get a Dark Immortal Killer relic on the board. So Immortal Killer, and let's get a dark one, so we can pop High Performance Unit Area's battle skill straight away. So there's actually a benefit from creating power gems passively with High Performance Units Area's battle skill, because it actually, you actually begin each turn with less than 15 earth gems on the board. So what will happen is that the passive for the current deck, well, several of the cards in the current deck, if you're, I think it's a Master Collection card and Ultimate form. Ooh, we've just been hit with Toxin. Just been hit with Toxin. So that is going to be, that's a shame, because now the battle skill of high performance unit area has been nullified. Really a shame. So let's see if we can actually get the battle skill to be activated this time around. All right, so if we can get hit without being hit by Toxin, ooh, that's good. Okay, so there we go. So we activate everything that we've got. And then we swap our power gems, and let's see the damage output that we've got. So the damage output is pretty decent, apart from the fact that you have got a 3-turn deck rather than a 1-turn or 2-turn deck, and apart from the fact that you're vulnerable to Toxin, it's a pretty decent deck. Pretty decent. So which one would I go for? I think if it's a choice between using Perceptive Guru or High Performance Unit Area, I'd go for High Performance Unit Area. That's if you haven't got anything better. But bear in mind, it's a 3-turn deck, not a 1-turn deck. Unlike my main event deck, which is a 1-turn deck. However, even though this is a 1-turn deck and it's really powerful, on the second activation of the battle skill of Protectors of Prosperity, and it's ultra rare, which is Punjari Rashmi, Punjari Rashmi, which is ultra rare for the same deck. These ones will only give you the 2000% attack increase on the first activation. After that, you have to die and revive to reset ambush, so you'll only be getting 200% attack increase from each one of these cards. However, if it's a long fight, this deck will come out on top, because every time you activate high performance unit areas battle skill, you will always get 2500% attack increase, which is quite decent. Plus, her passive generates a lot, well, not a lot, but it does generate a few dark gems on the board. So each time this hero attacks, it creates 4 dark gems and 3 power gem 4s. Those 4 power gem 4s will get overwritten by the passive of the 2, well, there's 2 Master Collection card and 1 Ultimate form, which have all got the same passive. So if you start your turn with less than 15 Earth Gems on the board, so we know that the passive of High Performance Unit Area will keep on spawning Dark Gems as long as you've actually matched Dark Gems. It will basically lower the amount of Earth Gems that's on the board, so these passive will activate almost every turn, and they can actually overwrite the power gems created by a performance unit area, which will add to the amount of power gems that you've got on the board, and that's a benefit. So there's actually 2 benefits from using this card. One, that you can actually end up with a bit more power gems, Earth power gem on the board, and the second one is if it's a long fight, you will always get 2500% attack increase to your deck, which makes it a pretty decent deck. But it's just that it's a 3-turn deck. That's where it falls down. This one falls down because it's a 3-turn deck. Perceptive Guru, apart from giving you the attack increase of 1200%, it doesn't really add much value to your deck. Not like High Performance Unit Area, as I pointed out, creates dark gems, which actually you can benefit from. This one is, it's okay. It's okay if you haven't got anything else that you can use, but it's not pretty decent. It's okay, but not brilliant. This one is okay, not brilliant. This one really good. So I would give this one, say 7 out of 10. I would give that one, and I would give this one 7 out of 10 as well, because if it's a long drawn out fight, this one will give you the same amount of damage attack increase every single time, while this one will give you a massive bang on turn 1, but going forward the attack boost will go down, and it will remain there unless you die. So based on that, this one is a 7, based on the fact that high performance unit area gives you the same amount of attack boost each turn, but it falls down when it comes to the amount of turn that it takes for the first attack. It falls down there, so I would say 7 out of 10 for both combination. This one I would give 3 out of 10. This one 3 out of 10. This one 2 out of 10. Okay, so and those are just some of the combination that you can use. Look at what you've got in your collection and see if you can come up with something that's pretty decent that you can actually compete within the event. So that's the information that I've got for you today. So try and be safe, enjoy the event, and until the next video, this is Octane saying thank you for watching. Bye for now.